This is the all-new high-performance Kia EV6 GT. I'm not just wearing this for style points. I am actually taking it on the track. To get car buyers into electric vehicles, there has to be more than environmental appeal. Carrots always work better than sticks. With dramatic design, solid range, and super-fast DC fast charging, Kia's EV6 has drawn many people into the EV lifestyle simply because it's a great car. The new EV6 GT is like stir-fried carrots at Nobu. More power, better brakes, improved suspension and tires, and a whole lot more, plus less when it comes to range. There is a GT line that's been out for a while. The GT is different. It's a little confusing. There is one less word in the GT name, but a lot more performance. To prove that the GT is the real deal, Kia has brought a bunch of automotive writers to Las Vegas to try it on road, on the track, and on the strip. 0 to 60 is a claimed 3.4 seconds.
The EV6 GT is the fastest and most powerful Kia production vehicle ever.
As you'd imagine, the GT is the most expensive EV6, a $4,000 premium over the GT line all-wheel drive, retailing for $62,700 with shipping. That buys significant performance hardware.
We have a lot of really crazy specs for this car. So we take the rear motor that's in the standard dual motor configuration for a Wind or a GT line, and we bring that 160 kilowatt rated motor to the front, and then we add an even more powerful motor to the back. So that's 270 kilowatts. That's how you get your 430 kilowatts. It's about 576 horsepower and change. And then also from a torque standpoint, it's pretty off the charts. It's 545 pound-feet. It's actually a smidge higher than that. We have a dedicated sport suspension with electronically controlled dampers, so depending on the drive mode that you're in, dampening will get adjusted based off of how the vehicle's been tuned. We also have different performance components that are unique to the front suspension, an electronic limited slip differential. Maybe you'll definitely make use of that when you're out on the track today, and then larger front and rear brakes. So the front rotors are 15 inches, the rears are 14.2 inch. Rotors, and then we also have stronger calipers.
There's extra software too. GT adds a new mode to wring the most out of the updated equipment. And there's a new dedicated drift mode.
The engineers are really amazing. This is basically why not offer this? We can, so we will. The drift mode, you have to tell the vehicle that you want to go into drift mode, but when you do that, you're signaling to the vehicle what it is that you want out of the driving character. So the torque can go up to 100% to the rear. That'll help you kick that tail out. And then, like the video was talking about, we have an ELSD, so it will kind of track where all the traction is, and it'll send more of the torque to the wheels that have more traction as it determines you're coming out of your drift. So it can kind of respond in real time, understanding like if you're trying to continue drifting or if you're starting to come out of your drift.
It's all very customizable.
So this table, not that we have to go into every single drive mode, but it's basically communicating that we've thought all the different kind of configurations.
This is all great, unless you live hundreds of miles from the track. GT's extra oomph and grippy Goodyear Eagle F1 rubber lops 46 miles off the estimated EPA range compared to the all-wheel drive GT line, and 103 off the rear drive model. More about that later. Fortunately, the 800-volt eGMP platform charges up very quickly, juicing from 10 to 80% in 18 minutes in ideal conditions at 350 kilowatt DC fast charge stations. At more popular 150 kilowatt terminals, add 3 to 4 minutes. Kia is happy to compare GT with more expensive machines.
Not necessarily a direct competitor, but the Porsche Taycan GTS, an 800-volt architecture just like ours. It's actually a slower car, costs more than twice as much, and when you go to a charging station, you'll actually beat it in terms of charging time as well. So really awesome to be able to make those claims.
The Porsche can be had in a rainbow of paint colors. EV6 is limited to this. This, and steel matte gray, a $700 upcharge, makes it easier to choose, I suppose. While the front and rear get slightly different treatments, the big GT tell is here. Some won't like the Christmas theme 365 days a year, but the look sure does pop. There's no choice when it comes to the cabin. This is it, folks. Accented up in Seahawks action green, it sure does make a statement. The deeply bolstered seats hug like your over-affectionate auntie. They're heated and offer good support. The passenger seat is manual, so is the driver's, if that's a deal breaker for you. Even enthusiasts will spend most of their time on public roads, and so it's where Kia points us first. It has lower profile tires on 21-inch wheels, and with the adaptive suspension in the right setting, the ride quality is far from jarring. And that said, the Nevada roads in and around Vegas are pretty well maintained. On these events, they always pair us up with a fellow journalist. Ladies and gentlemen, Henry Payne from the Detroit News.
Howdy.
You're a Tesla owner.
Tesla Model 3 Performance.
All right. Thoughts on how this compares?
Yeah, it's similar in terms of performance. Both very quick off the line. A much heavier car than the Model 3. Feels a lot bigger. Feels more like a Model S class vehicle than the Model 3. But still priced at $60,000, which is the same price as my Model 3 Performance.
I have to say, we are doing 70 miles an hour. This is whisper quiet. You can dial in sounds. We aren't doing that, but this is terrific.
Yeah, it's a really nice buttoned up car.
Kia's semi-autonomous driving system called Highway Driving Assist 2 is quite good. It holds the lane confidently, takes gentle curves smoothly. Super Cruise remains the gold standard. It does feel heavy. You can definitely feel the weight on this car. The elephant in the room is range. What is this? EPA rated at 208? That's significantly less than even the all-wheel drive GT line.
Yeah, a lot less than a Model 3 Performance, which is about 300. Model S, considerably more than that, up around 400 these days. So, yeah, this is a toy. This is a GT that you're going to use to go fast locally, not a trip car.
That said, Kia tends to be conservative with range and says the 206 mile is an average of Eco mode and the full-on power track mode. Most likely efficiency is better in the tamest mode with a light foot. We were surging hard and driving, well, briskly, and the trip computer said that we would travel around 180 miles in 50-degree temperatures, hoping to get one for a week for a full range test. I'm in max regen right now, foot off the throttle, and not bad.
Yeah, I really like regen. I mean, you drive electric cars for a while, and you really grow to appreciate it. Kia does a little differently than Tesla. Tesla is just really part of the drive experience. It's built into the drivetrain. This car, you can option up to 5 different levels of regen, and max being the top. So you can set it yourself with 2 different pedals.
Yeah, Tesla is always in regen mode. So if you're using the brake pedal, you're actually using the physical disc brakes, right?
Yeah.
Best to use 576 horsepower and 545 pound-feet of instant torque on the right playground. That would be Las Vegas Motor Speedway. A refresher, the all-wheel drive GT line zips to 60 miles an hour in 5.1 seconds with a top speed of 117 miles an hour. GT's numbers are 3.4 and 161. All right. Track time. My favorite time. This is a lead-follow situation.
Okay, so can I get a thumbs up if you hear me there?
Starting with a lap to get us familiar with the course. I've driven the Taycan GTS at Thunder Hill, so this should be interesting. Putting the throttle down, wow. You definitely feel that. Braking, going into a corner. Wow, very nicely controlled. The lithium-ion pack is the same 77.4 kilowatt hours found in all other EV6s. The performance bits, like more powerful motors, add some 300 pounds of heft. GT weighs around 4,800 pounds, so weight transfer in hard cornering is felt. Taycan hides this better. Braking hard, The rubber is warmed up, but the pavement is on the cool side. At around 50 degrees, there's a little less stick.
We are up to 120.
At the limits, this is an easy car to drive. All the dynamics are delightfully progressive and predictable.
Really nice rotation to this car, and the tires give away just perfectly. Excellent control.
A low center of gravity is always an advantage. The bit of lean in extremely hard cornering actually helps your brain and inner ear understand what's happening, since noise is mostly absent.
There is that whole concept, you kind of drive a car by sound, the engine revs and all. You don't have that with this, but the chassis is so well tuned, you really don't need it. You're really driving by the sound of the tires.
EVs on a track are fun in their own way. Instant torque out of turns helps, but the lack of growl and vibration means a more sterile experience. There's some road feel through the wheel, not tons. Taycan's dynamic does beat the Kia, but at over twice the price. Obviously, 70 grand buys a lot of track time, tires, and electricity.
So I've got this set on level 2 regen. That's what they said to do. It works pretty well. The brakes feather in pretty seamlessly.
EV6 GT is a porker, but after 4 hard laps, there's no evidence of brake fade. I can't speak to what happens after hours of flogging. Modulation is very good.
Well, I just scrubbed off 40 miles of range and 5 miles of driving. It's going to happen.
Pro driver Andrew Carbonell took me out to show off drift mode. Sadly, this GoPro's video froze. The audio didn't. Weird, huh? But this one kept going. Watch how happy the GT is to destroy tires in short order. It will shred rubber like this as long as you have battery power and money to buy new tires. There's an electronic limited slip differential in back for changing the dynamics to hoon the way you want. The GT's cabin is very similar to GT lines, other than the deep bucket seats and chartreuse accents. The wheel is heated, by the way. There's a good amount of faux suede, too. Gripe if you want about the shallow storage area up front. It means more space for feet, backpacks, and purses here. Many performance machines eliminate these. It brightens up the slightly dark cockpit. Nice to have. Sister Ioniq 5 feels more open, and it's getting the N treatment. GT comes loaded to the gills. A great sound system like this doesn't have to compete with engine noise. It should be easy to keep the EV6 dent-free. If not, the drivers had every kind of warning possible. There are more expensive cars than this that don't line the pockets to keep rattles down. There's a great head-up display, too, with augmented reality prompts when using the navigation system. I suggest watching my video on the GT line since I had a lot more time to photograph it to show off all the features on the user interface, which is pretty easy to use. A reminder that the performance sounds can be switched and volume is adjustable. That's an option on many Porsche Taycans. For now, at least, you'll be using a cord for Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Oh, and this switchable panel remains the same, so the knob that adjusts the driver's side climate temperature is also the volume knob. It's cool tech. I still don't like it. One more blast of fun. This is the first time I've been on a real drag strip for quarter-mile runs. There's even track glue.
Okay, you see all the way down there at the end, that orange reflector on the guardrail?
I do.
That's your finish line. That's
Okay.
where you're gonna lift off.
All right.
So I'm gonna bring you in, get you staged.
All right.
I'll walk away. As soon as you see those ampers flash, go.
All right.
Don't wait for them to go out. As soon as they come on, go.
I get 2 tries. I'll admit my reaction time on the first is glacial.
Here we go. Coming up on quarter mile, and my top speed is, I think 118.
My quarter-mile time is 11.6 seconds. Top speed is 117.53.
Okay, I thought I was a little faster.
Okay, second attempt.
Wow, the thrust is amazing on this thing.
It's moments like this you hope the GoPro mount is really good, especially at nearly 118 miles an hour.
Not too shabby.
I improve slightly, 11.58, and a speed of 117.6. That's easily a half second quicker than posted numbers for Mach-E GT and Tesla Model Y, if that's important to you.
You know what this reminds me of? When I was a kid, I had Hot Wheels that were called Sizzlers. They were electric. This is like a big Sizzlers. I do like EVs. I love the instant torque, but in this situation, I have to admit, I really kind of miss the sound of a gas engine. I just do.
Again, watch my more thorough review of the GT line for everyday stuff like the back seat. Here are the cliff notes. At 5'9", I have enough head, knee, and leg room, but foot room is kind of snug. At least the floor is flat. The GT gets rump roasters. The carpool gang will like that. Traits the GT shares with Taycan? Not good ones. No seat pockets, and these are pretty darn small. Cargo remains the same as any EV6. There's storage for the vehicle-to-load adapter that would be useful when car camping. Seats up, there's 24 cubic feet. No reaching in to drop the backs. These are convenient. There's no ski pass-through of any kind, but the floor is flat at least. A reminder that Kia classifies this as a crossover SUV, but it's much like a wagon. Max cargo room is 50 cubic feet. Let's wrap this up with red light, green light. Green lights. Peeling away from one, the GT will slay nearly anything under 100 grand, but drive safely, okay? Flogging the GT hard in corners is a lesson in control and forgiveness. It's a performance bargain at $15,000 less than a Mustang Mach-E GT. It keeps the charging speed, design, and features of the regular EV6 with few comfort compromises. Yellow lights? Most people like the interior's neon green accenting, but if not, well, tough luck. The seats are comfortable with excellent lateral support, but power, venting, and bolstering adjustments for big drivers would help. The lower front cabin area is roomy for bags, which leaves less space for storage under the hood. Red lights. The drop to 206 miles of rated range from the all-wheel drive Win model's 282 will make road trippers think twice. Regular EV6s are hard enough to get. Imagine the dealer markup on the rare GT. Choice is good, and the GT is an excellent halo for Kia, an automaker that just keeps pumping out excellent product. Many buyers, especially those that travel often, are better served by less intense models, but there's no denying this kind of capability is a blast.
It's too bad I didn't win the $2 billion Powerball, because I would build a track and I would stock it with cars like this. It would be so much fun.
Even if it never sees the track, the EV6 GT is wicked fun. It's a terrific carrot that makes a statement to enthusiasts and the competition. I mentioned the electronic limited slip differential. You know that it's not like the physical kind, right?
The goal is essentially the same as a mechanical system, but the computer's always collecting data in real time. So with more precision, it's able to send the torque to the wheel that it determines is in need of it or it anticipates will be needing it. So it's essentially accomplishing the same thing, but with more precision.
A reminder that Kia brought me to Las Vegas, put me up in a swanky hotel, and fed me good food. It's important to me to remain a straight shooter, though.
Once again, special thanks to Henry Payne, and I really appreciate your Tesla insight.
Great to be with you, Tom. Yeah, fun to compare these different EVs.
Don't forget that walking, biking, mass transit, even carpooling are better ways of reducing your carbon footprint.
Well, that's my first look at the Kia EV6 GT. An awful lot of fun if you can get one, and that is my fun fact. EV6s are hard to find to begin with. The GT is only going to be about 10% of production, so get out there and try to find one if you want to have some fun. Thanks for watching. Remember, subscribe to this channel, click notifications, follow me on social media, and if you've got a question, leave it in the comments. That's Driven. I'm Tom Volk.